Hello and welcome to the Sportfish Spring Spectacular. My name is Chris Flay. You join me on the banks of the River Derwent here in Derbyshire. It is middle of summer and what we're going to do today is look at 3 different types of methods to target trout and grayling. We've got a dry fly setup, we've got a Euro nymphing setup, and we're going to do something a little bit different with the Euro nymphing setup also. So the first setup we're going to look at today is the Euro nymphing setup. For this, I've got a 10 foot for a 3 weight. On the bottom end, I've got a fully caged reel. The reason why we use a fully caged reel is if you've got an open cage, then the line can quite often get caught in round the back. Then I've got a 9 metre long camo leader, which is tapered all the way to a tippet ring. Now, on the tippet ring, we've got that, which is our indication line, which is pink, black, yellow. That's going to show us if we get any strikes from fish. Attached to that is another tippet ring. And then I've got some 4-pound fluorocarbon, which is our leader material, which will have our 2 flies on. It'll have our dropper and our point fly. I'm going to make that around about 4.5 to 5 feet long. Then what we can do with this rod as well is we can take off that 4-pound tippet that we've got and we can add on some 8-pound. Reason I'm going to do that is because I can also use this with a mini jig streamer or a smaller streamer. We're going to be throwing that into back eddies, behind rocks, and see if we can pull any of the bigger fish out. And the third option that we're going to use today is the dry fly. 10 foot 4 weight, weight forward 4 dry fly line. Attached to that, I've got 12 foot of tapered leader, which I've actually taken off the last 2 feet, and I've attached my own fluorocarbon of about 6 feet. So in total, I've got probably running length of about 16, 17 feet of leader. The reason why I've got 16 or 17 feet of leader is to get a better presentation and more of a drag-free drift. So a lot of people will just turn up to the river and just jump straight in without even realising what flies are hatching and what flies could give them the best results for that day. So this time of year, I would expect fish to be feeding on small olives, caddisfly, stonefly, and if you also look at the older trees on the leaves, you will often find these little black beetle larvas. So on my dry fly rod, my first setup is going to be a beetle pattern. On the Euro nymphing rod, I've got 2 flies. The point fly I've got is an olive imitation, and the dropper fly is a blue perdigan. So whilst I've been setting up, we've noticed that there's a few fish rising under an older tree. Like we showed you earlier with all those beetle larvas on the leaves, what's happening is when the wind blows, those beetle larvas and beetles are just falling into the water and those trout are reacting to them. I'm going to go down these steps, I'm going to get in the water into my position and stay there for probably 5 to 10 minutes just so the water settles back down and they get feeding actively again, and then we'll make our first cast. We've got to try and flick it under that overhang branch. That's got a chance. No. It's quite difficult to see the fly against that light. So we've had a few casts over the fish now. The fly has been over the fish, but we're just not getting the take that we're desiring. So I'm just trying an olive emerger Just a couple of casts with it, just to see if anything rises to it. They're definitely hard fixed on something. We're going to have a walk upstream and see if we can find any fresh risers. So we're just on our way now to fish another dry fly pool, but to get to that one we have to walk through this one. Just over my right shoulder there's a little glide that's soaked off to about 3 foot deep, and that's why we've got the nymphing rod with us today. So we're going to give it a shot in there and see if we can pull anything out. So it's important when you're nymphing, as soon as those flies land you want to be in contact, and any indication on that sighter we strike. So oh, there was one. So as soon as it lands we're in tight. Just cast and move half a step at a time. Let it swing all the way around. Just bringing it down with the current. Important just to check those nymphs every so often because they are grazing the bottom. We're all clear. There's one. Only a little one. Let's just get out that pool a sec. Not the biggest in the river, but definitely welcome. That's the future there. So that fish took the blue perdigan on the dropper, and he's actually a wild rainbow trout. So this will have come down from the Y, which is a mile or so above us here. So we've kept an eye on the pool above us to see if we've got any risers, and there's nothing really happening there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stick with the same setup, but I'm going to take the nymphs off, take the 4 pound line off and put some 8 pound line on. Then we're going to attach a jig streamer, and then we're going to fish the tail end of this one, see if we can get anything else. We're in position now to where we want to be in this pool. I'm looking at putting this fly underneath these overhanging trees and close to the banks. We've let the pool settle for a couple of minutes, so there's no real waves moving up it, and we'll see if we can get anything. Okay, now as you can't cast this like a normal fly line, and I've got probably 15 feet to reach the far bank, I'm going to pull some line off the reel, and I'm actually going to use the weight of the fly and the weight of the water behind me to propel the fly out. So we cast it back and then we can flick it all the way forward. So we cast it back using the weight of the fly, then the weight of the water propels it all the way forward. The retrieve of this is like a jig with a figure of 8, or you can do little strips. And try and get it right under these overhangs. There's one. He had to be under there somewhere. Feels a good fish. Yeah, it's a nice fish. So we've got the net ready. He's a good fish. He's just not ready to come in just yet. Wants to go back to his home under those trees. This is why we've got that 8 pound line, because he really slapped into this. He's not ready. Come on, fish. Yes! That's a proper one. So we got it right up close to that bank, under those trees, and he came out and smashed it. He really wanted it. Put up a good account for himself, so what we're going to do, we're going to rest him for a little while, and then we'll release him. We're going to head back to camp now. We're going to have some food, reset, and we're going to go at it again tomorrow morning. So it's day 2 here on the Derwent. Yesterday we tried to get those fish on the dry fly under those trees and it just wasn't really happening. I couldn't pick out the right fly for them. They were really locked onto something specific. So what we did in the end, we moved downstream, we tried the nymphs, and then we moved up the pool and had that one lovely fish on the streamer, which goes to show how effective that can be. What we're going to do today, there's a run behind me that we're going to run the nymphs through. After that, as the day warms up and the temperature rises, we're going to try and get some fish on the dry fly. So first pool, what I've got here, I've got the riffles running down from a couple of inches into probably 2 or 3 feet, with in front of me that fallen log or fallen tree. And what I'm just going to do is flick my nymphs into the faster stuff and let it swing round. Not got much room to aim at there really, just a gap in between the tree. Important again to get straight tight with those flies and bring it down with the speed of the water. There's one. So he's taking the point fly, which was the slightly heavier of the two. Nice little brownie. Get down here and swing him in. Lovely. First fish of the day. Okay, so I've fished this pool and I feel like I'm missing, not missing fish, but not finding the fish. And the reason why, there's a bit of depth to this and I just don't think I'm getting down fast enough. So I'm going to change up a little bit. Just going to put a heavier point fly on. So I've got a flashback hare's ear. All right, let's give it a shot. There we go. That was it. Just getting those flies down that little bit more has resulted in another fish for us. Just slide him over this ledge for me. Lovely. Really happy with that. Just moving to a different pool, and I wanted to go through my top 3 tips of fishing for trout and grayling in the summer on a river. Tip number 1, change your dry fly. That next fly that you put on, if they're not rising to yours, might be the one that works. Tip number 2, change the weight of the nymphs. When we were fishing the pool earlier, we changed that point nymph to a heavier one to get down because we thought there was still fish in there, and it worked. So that's my tip number 2, change the weight of your nymphs. And tip number 3, flow, structure and cover is where the trout like to hang out and where they like to feed. Where you find that, you'll quite often find the feeding fish. So while I was fishing down in the run below us, I did notice a couple of fish starting to come up just in the inner sides of the river, under the overhanging branches, and remember what we said, looking for that cover. So let's go and see if we can get some with the dry fly. Got him. That's a nice fish. He was right under that bank. That was a little size 18 olive emerger. Oh wow. I'll try and get this one on the reel because he's heading over there. Come back. Why is he doing this to me? Let's loosen that drag just a touch. I want to try and keep him above me if possible. I never like fighting fish below me. But I can't stop him. Oh, I might be following him. Yeah, he's gone. If I can keep him in this, we might have a chance. My heart's pounding.
It's a rainbow.
Yeah.
No wonder it took off like that.
Got him. Well, I didn't expect that. I hope these last couple of days that we've spent here have given you some inspiration and maybe some different tactics and methods to use. Good luck in the upcoming season. Hope you catch lots of fish, and thanks for watching.